Have you ever done tax evasion? No? Well, this is pretty fun. And simple. All you need is a Swiss bank account. What's that gonna do? Okay, look. Billionaires always stash their money into Swiss banks because it makes them invisible.
Okay, first of all, you don't need to be a billionaire to open a Swiss bank account. Swiss banks are generally pretty happy to take anyone on who has at least $1 million to put into a bank or brokerage account. My firm, we do have relationships with some banks and investment advisors in Switzerland where we can get accounts open for our clients for around $500,000.
What? How does that happen? That's the thing about Swiss banks. They can never reveal your identity to anyone. If you earn
anyone except for the IRS. The Swiss banks do report to the IRS if you have an account, if you are a U.S. passport holder.
$50 million and deposit it into a Swiss bank, no one can know that it's you who made that money, which means you don't need to report it in your taxes to the U.S. Wait, a Swiss bank is still inside of Switzerland. Doesn't that mean you'll have to pay taxes to the Swiss government? That's true. And
no, that is not true. If you are a U.S. citizen and you open up an account in Switzerland, you are still taxed in the U.S. Switzerland does not impose any additional taxes for keeping your money in a Swiss bank account.
And since you're not a citizen, won't the Swiss government charge you higher tax rates? Well, to avoid that, I'll shift the money from my name to a Swiss resident that I can trust.
I think this is some Wolf of Wall Street style planning.
Like a relative. This isn't allowed, but since Swiss banks keep everything confidential, the government won't know that I'm doing this. Now, my money will be charged at a lower tax rate. I'm still paying taxes, but it's a lot lower than what I would pay in the US. Isn't that illegal? It is. But on the plus side, you just committed tax evasion. Congratulations, we're criminals now. And if you want to go double or nothing, we can even start doing money laundering and stash everything into our Swiss bank. Since it's anonymous, no one will know it's you. Don't try this at home.
Okay, I don't know how to commit tax evasion. I don't want to know how to do it, but it's definitely not by opening up a Swiss bank account. Prior to President Obama, there were Swiss banks that were working with U.S. attorneys and U.S. investment advisors to help individuals hide taxes from the IRS. The Obama administration cracked down on Switzerland, who then cracked down on the banks and required that the Swiss banks report to the IRS anytime that a U.S. passport holder opens up a Swiss bank account. When that happened, a lot of Swiss banks said, we don't want to report anything to the IRS. We are no longer willing to work with U.S. clients. However, a lot of Swiss banks looked up and said, you know what? The U.S. is where a lot of the world's wealth is, and we as bankers, we like money. And they said, we are going to comply with the requirements of the IRS. We will gladly cater to Americans, and we are going to report the Swiss accounts that American passport holders have to the IRS. A Swiss bank account is an excellent place to keep your money for several reasons still. First of all, because Swiss bank accounts are safer than U.S. banks. They have much more cash on hand, they have a lot more liquidity, higher capital reserve ratios. They also don't take on a lot of the risky activity that traditional US banks take on, like prop trading, investment banking, or allowing outside investors to invest in their bank. The banks we work with in Switzerland, the smaller mid-sized banks, are the safest in the world. And when that Swiss bank account is owned by Cook Islands Trust, not only do you get the benefit of having the best banking system, you also have the benefit of having your assets secured from lawsuits because of the Cook Islands Trust.